And now if I want to derive another class, so I am going to create one class. So simply I will put name here. This is class A. This is class B. This is class C. And this is class D. So simply see the diagram. First of all, I am going to define one class by a name, that is class A. Okay. From the class A, I am going to derive another two classes, that is class B and class C. It means that whatever may be the member functions which are present in a class A, so that same member function should be copied into the class B and class C. Now I am take a decision to make another class or to derive another class D from class B and class C. Okay, so class B will contain one member function, class C will contain same member function of class A, and when class D is derived from class B and class C, so automatically the member function of class A and the member function of class A which is present in class B and class C, that same member function should be copied into the class D. Means class D contain two member function. So this concept should not be allowed in a inheritance. So to make the bypass, means to bypass the base class property, we are make that class B and class C as a virtual. Okay, so for that we have seen one simple example. So here we have taken class C1 as a base class. Okay, and in that class C1 we are going to create one function, that is C1 function. Okay, and class C2 should be derived from class C1. So that C1 function, that function should be copied into the C2 function, that is class C2. Okay, and again we are going to derive one class, that is class C3 from class C1. So whatever may be the member function of class C1, that member function should be copied into the class C3, and from class C2 and C3 we are going to derive the class C4. Okay, so the member function which is present in a class C1, that member function should be copied into the class C2 and class C3, but when we are going to derive class C4 from class C2 and C3, at that time what happens, two copies of same member function should be present in a class C4. So to avoid this duplication of base classes function, we are going to make class C2 and C3 as a virtual by putting the virtual keyword here. Okay, so see here we are making class C2 and C3 as a virtual. When that class C2 and C3 should be virtual, so automatically only the base class member function should be copied into the class C4. Okay, and now we know that whenever the object should be created, that object should be created by the name of derived class. So C4 is the final derived class, so we are going to create the object by a name C4 object, and we are calling the function, and after calling the function you should know the output: C1 class function, C2 class function, C3 class function, and C4 class function. That is nothing but the output. Now in today's lecture we are going to cover, or we are going to see 2 points, that is the virtual function, pure virtual function, and abstract class. So first of all we are going to see what is the meaning of pure virtual function. So see here, see, this is the simple definition. A pure virtual function, a pure virtual function is a function which is declared in a base class, but there is no definition related to base class. It means that a function is declared in a base class, but when we are going to declare that function in a base class, the code related to that function should not be present in a base class. Okay, once again I am telling you, once I am declare a function as a virtual in a base class, at that time the code related to that virtual function should not be present in a base class. So see here, a pure virtual function is a function which is declared in a base class, but there is no definition related to base class. Means काय केलंय आपण, एका बेस क्लासमध्ये काय केलंय, व्हर्च्युअल फंक्शन डिक्लेअर केलं, पण व्हर्च्युअल फंक्शन डिक्लेअर केलं असताना त्या व्हर्च्युअल फंक्शनचा जो काही कोड आहे तो कोड काय केला आपण बेस क्लासमध्ये डिक्लेअर केला नाही. सो दॅट फंक्शन शुड बी कॉल्ड ॲज अ प्युअर व्हर्च्युअल फंक्शन. So see the next line, it means a function is declared in a base class without any code, and it does not have any code in a base class, and once again it is redefined in a derived class. See here, एक फंक्शन जर समजा आपण बेस क्लासमध्ये डिफाईन केला बाय अ कीवर्ड व्हर्च्युअल, ॲट दॅट टाइम इट विल बिकम अ व्हर्च्युअल फंक्शन ऑफ दॅट क्लास. पण त्या व्हर्च्युअल फंक्शनचा जर समजा कोड आपण बेस क्लासमध्ये डिफाईन केलं नाही, ॲट दॅट टाइम इट विल बिकम अ प्युअर व्हर्च्युअल फंक्शन. ओके, and that pure virtual function again we have to redefine in a derived class. So after doing the program for pure virtual function, we will learn what is the meaning of abstract base class. So abstract base class means a class which contain the pure virtual function. That class should be called as a abstract base class. Okay, so when so once again I am telling the definition, a class which contain the pure virtual function, that class should be called as a abstract base class. So once a class become abstract base class, at that time it is not possible for us to declare the object for abstract base class. आतापर्यंत आपण काय केलं होतं, जेवढे काही क्लासेस आहेत त्या क्लासेससाठी आपण ऑब्जेक्ट डिफाईन करू शकत होतो, बरोबर आहे. बट एखादा क्लास जर समजा तुमचा ॲबस्ट्रॅक्ट बेस क्लास असेल तर त्या क्लाससाठी आपण ऑब्जेक्ट डिफाईन करू शकत नाही. So see here, we are not able to create, see this line, we are not able to create the object for abstract base class. Why? Because abstract base class contain the pure virtual function. Okay, and that abstract base class should be designed for the concept of inheritance only, and they are used to create the base class pointer at runtime to get runtime polymorphism. So what is the meaning of runtime polymorphism? We will cover the next point after that point will be finished. So after that, now I am going to do the programs for the pure virtual function. Whenever we are going to see the program, at that time it should be clear to you. Hash include iostream.h using namespace std. Okay, now after that I am going to define one class, and name of that class is shape. Okay, now within that class I am going to define two member functions, that is, consider that these are the float variables, that is a and float variable b. Okay, now I am going to define here two variables, that is float a, float, float variable a and b. Okay, after that I am going to declare one member function, that is void get data. Now see the programs properly, it is very simple. Now I am going to read the values of a and b. Now that function will be closed. Okay, and now here I am going to define pure virtual function. So pure virtual function should be defined by a keyword virtual. Okay, after that put the data types, put the data type of variable. So what is the data type? Float. Okay, and we have to decide to calculate the area for that particular function. So write down area, and when we are going to put area equal to 0, at that time it will become a pure virtual function. So within this bracket I am going to write here, when a function is declared, when a function, see here, when a function is declared, when a function is declared and initializes with 0 and initializes with 0, when a function is declared and initializes with 0, then then it is called pure virtual function. So see here, what we have to do here, we are going to define one class, that is, and name of that class is shape. Okay, within that class we are going to define two variables, that is a and b, that is called as data members, and with the help of get data function we are going to read the value of a and b, and we are going to close the function. After that we are going to define the pure virtual function, and pure virtual function should be defined by a keyword virtual, and after that we are going to put the data type of data member, that is float, and after that I am going to decide I want to calculate the area. So I am going to create one function area, and the value of that function I am going to initialize with 0. So see here, when a function is declared and initializes with 0, at that time that function should be called as a pure virtual function. Okay. So after that I am going to close this class, and I am going to create another class, that is class triangle, and that class triangle inherit the property will inherit the property from the class shape. As I already told you that pure virtual function is defined for the, or abstract base class is defined for purely inheritance concept only. So that's why we are going to use here inheritance concept. I am going to declare one class, that is the class triangle, and whatever may be the data members and member function for that particular class, that data members and member function that we are going to take from the class shape. Okay. Now write down here public. Now see properly. Now see the definition. What it will say, uh, uh, the pure virtual function, it does not have any code in a base class. So see here, see this line. This is the pure virtual function, and that pure virtual function does not have any code within a base class. So this is the base class for pure virtual function. Okay. And once again it is redefined in a derived class. So see here, that class triangle is a derived class. Why? Because that class triangle is derived from the class shape. So we are going to again redefine here virtual float area. So again we are going to redefine in a derived class. Okay. Now tell me, what is the area of triangle? The area of triangle is, what is the area of triangle? Area of triangle is 1 by 2 into base into height. Consider that the value of a is a base and b is a height. Okay. Now I am going to close that function and class also. Okay. Now again I am going to declare another class with the name rectangle. Okay. Again that class rectangle will take the data members from the class shape. Now in a similar manner declare this area function. Okay. And return value, and write down here return what is the value of what is the area of rectangle, that is a into b, that is length into breadth. Okay. Again it is closed. Now I am going to close this class also. Okay. Now I am going to declare one main function, that is integer main, and within that main function I am going to define the object for a class triangle. If I am going to define the object for a class triangle is T. Okay. Now I am going to write down here C out statement. Enter the value of base and height. So I am going to write down here enter the value of enter the value of base and height. Okay, and then I am going to put here endl. Now t dot get data function. So with the help of the t dot get data function, after entering the value of a and b, we are going to read the value of a and b here with the help of t dot get data function. Okay. Now once again I am right here C out area of triangle, area of triangle equal to, so to calculate the area, which function is defined here, area function is defined. Okay, so write down here t dot area. If I am declare t dot area function, at that time t dot area function will return the value the area of triangle. Okay, and write down here endl statement. Now I am going to create another object for a class rectangle, that is object R. So write down same statement. So instead of writing again and again, I am simply copy this statement here. So enter the values of, instead of base and height, I am going to write here length and breadth. Length and length and breadth of rectangle. And here I have simply put an area of, instead of triangle, here I am going to put rectangle. So t dot area, and after endl statement I am going to return 0, return 0. Instead of r, put here instead of t r dot area. So now I am going to run the program. So after running the program, see here it shows the error expected semicolon. Okay, triangle T, enter the,
सर किती का घेतले
काय
टी का घेतले तर
कुठं
42 नंबरला टी गेट डेटा
हे ना, हे ना,
हा तेच हा तेच
हा टी डॉट गेट डेटा, सॉरी इथं आर पाहिजे ना. हा, एक मिनिट. टी डॉट गेट डेटा का बरं घेतलं, बिकॉज टी आर आय एन, एक मिनिट मला फक्त ट्रायंगलची स्पेलिंग बघू द्या वर का दिलं, सांगतोय मी. समजावून सांगतोय मी, एकच मिनिट होल्ड करा. हे बघा, तुमचं म्हणणं आहे तर टी डॉट गेट डेटा आपण का बरं घेतलं, बरोबर. या ठिकाणी बघा आपण एक गेट डेटा फंक्शन काय केलं, डिफाईन केलंय, बरोबर आहे. गेट डेटा फंक्शन काय करते, ए आणि बी चे व्हॅल्यू काय करत आहे, रीड करत आहे, बरोबर. बरोबर ना. गेट डेटा फंक्शन काय
हो
करतं,
बरोबर
तुमचं
आहे.
ए आणि बी चे व्हॅल्यू काय करत आहे, रीड करत आहे, बरोबर आहे. ज्या वेळेस आपण काय केलं या ठिकाणी सी आउट स्टेटमेंट मध्ये, वेन वी आर गोइंग टू एंटर द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ बेस अँड हाईट फॉर ट्रायंगल साठी, ट्रायंगलला काय असतो, बेस आणि हाईट असतो, आणि ए आणि बी ची व्हॅल्यू आपण कन्सिडर केलंय बेस आणि हाईट. So when I am going to call the t dot get data function, so automatically the cursor will move to the get data function and it will read the value of a and b. म्हणजे आपण a आणि b च्या ज्या काही व्हॅल्यू एंटर करू त्या व्हॅल्यू हे काय करणार, रीड करणार. किंवा हा जो स्टेटमेंट आहे, हा स्टेटमेंट आपण या ठिकाणी पण पुट करू शकतोय. या ठिकाणी पण स्टेटमेंट पुट करू शकतोय, पण प्रॉब्लेम काय येईल नंतर, की जेव्हा आपण रेक्टँगलची लेंथ आणि ब्रेडची हाईट आपल्याला जर समजा एंटर करायची असेल, ऍट दॅट टाइम पुन्हा तो ट्रायंगलचीच व्हॅल्यू विचारेल. सो दॅट्स वाय वी आर गोइंग टू पुट दॅट स्टेटमेंट हियर. सो सी हियर, व्हर्च्युअल प्युअर
हॅलो.
व्हर्च्युअल फंक्शन, त्याच्यामध्ये काय असते, प्युअर व्हर्च्युअल फंक्शन इज डिफाइंड इन अ ऍबस्ट्रॅक्ट बेस क्लास. म्हणजे ज्या क्लासमध्ये आपण प्युअर व्हर्च्युअल फंक्शन डिफाईन करू त्या क्लासला काय म्हणतात, ऍबस्ट्रॅक्ट बेस क्लास. अँड वन्स अगेन इट इज रिडिफाइंड इन अ डिराइव्ड क्लास. सो as per the definition, it is once again derived in a derived class. So that class rectangle and class triangle are nothing but the derived class, and that class should be derived from the class shape. ओके. पण ज्या वेळेस, पुन्हा एकदा सांगतोय की ज्या वेळेस आपण डिराइव्ड क्लासमध्ये प्युअर व्हर्च्युअल फंक्शन पुन्हा रिडिफाईन करतोय, देर इज नो नीड टू पुट व्हर्च्युअल कीवर्ड हियर. जसं त्या डेफिनेशन मध्ये दिलं होतं, a pure virtual function is defined in a abstract base class and once again it is redefined in a derived class. derived class मध्ये redefine करताना there is no need to put virtual keyword. So that's why I am going to eliminate that virtual keyword from here. And now when I am going to execute the program,
हॅलो सर. इंट मेन नंतर सेमिकॉलन राहिला.
int main, अरे तर
सेमिकॉलन.
इंट मेन नंतर सेमिकोलॉन कुठे तरी ओपन अँड करली, ओपन अँड क्लोज ब्रेस येते.
हा हा सर, खालचा पूर्ण करे खाली.
rectangle R. या ठिकाणी आपण आर, ओके, या ठिकाणी आर आपण स्मॉल झालं, कॅपिटल. हा. So see here, it will ask enter the value of base and height of a triangle. So I will enter the value of base as a 10 and height is 20. So at that time it will return the area of triangle, that is 100. Formula काय, 0.5 into base into height. So 10 into 20, that is 200, and into 1 by 2, that is 100. Now it will ask enter the value of length and breadth of rectangle. So I will enter again 10 and 20. Length is 10, breadth is 20. So येईल येईल. पुन्हा एकदा एक्झिक्यूट करू. सी आउट एरिया ऑफ रेक्टेंगल r dot area. बहुतेक इंटरनेटचा प्रॉब्लेम आहे. ऑनलाईन कंपायलर हे ऍक्च्युली इंटरनेटची स्पीड स्लो आहे, त्याच्यामुळे घेत नाही आहे खालचं. Once again we are run this program. Let's see. So see here, when I am going to enter the value of base and height 5 and 6, so at that time see here, it will ask इंट मेन पासून तुमचा प्रोग्राम सुरू झाला, बरोबर आहे. ट्रायंगल साठी एक ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट केला. ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट केल्यानंतर आय एम गोइंग टू राईट वन सी आउट स्टेटमेंट, एंटर द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ बेस अँड हाईट ऑफ अ ट्रायंगल. It will ask enter the value of base and height of a triangle. I am entering the value 5 and 6. After that I am going to write t dot get data function. When t dot get data function is called, at that time cursor will move to the get data function and it will read the value a and b, that is 5 and 6. Okay. After this line is executed, again it is going to print like that, area of triangle, area of triangle, and I am going to call that area function with the object name, that is t dot area. When I am going to call that area function of a triangle, so automatically cursor will move to the here and it will calculate the area of triangle, that is 0.5 into base into height. So see here, 5 into 6, that is 30, 30 into 0.5 किती आला 15. Okay. After that we are going to define the object for class rectangle. Okay, then we are going to write one statement, that is cout, enter the length and breadth of rectangle. So it is print like that, enter the value of length and breadth of rectangle. So we are going to enter the value of 10 and 15. Again we are going to call get data function. When we are going to call get data function, at that time what happens, cursor will move to the get data function and we are going to read the value of length and breadth, that is a and b. And when we are going to call r dot area function, so it will return the area of rectangle. It will calculate the area of rectangle a into b. So 10 into 15, that is, it should be the 150. 50 कसं काय आलंय? पुन्हा एकदा रन करून बघू. तर 0 आलं. Because of slow connection, it is not showing show the proper output. So when you are going to do the same program, your output will be the correct one. So you should read this program offline. So I am going to copy this program for your notes purpose. So I am copying this program. I am sharing this file with you. So this is nothing but our program for virtual function. Okay. Now the next point is polymorphism in C++. So the next concept is polymorphism in C++. ओके, एक सिंपल डेफिनेशन सांगतोय. पॉली म्हणजे काय होते? पॉली मीन्स मेनी. ओके, पॉली मीन्स मेनी. जर समजा तुमचं एखादा पर्टिक्युलर, आता एक सिंपल एक्झाम्पल घ्या. तुमचं एक कन्सिडर करा तुमचं स्वतःचं एक्झाम्पल. तुम्ही एक पर्सन आहात, बरोबर आहे. तुम्ही जर समजा क्लासरूम मध्ये बसलात, यू शुड बी ट्रीटेड ॲज अ स्टुडंट, बरोबर आहे. तुम्ही जर समजा घरी आलात, तर तुमचे आई वडील तुम्हाला सन किंवा डॉटर म्हणून ट्रीट करतील, बरोबर आहे. तुम्ही जर समजा दुकानात गेला तर दुकानदार तुम्हाला काय करणार आहे, कस्टमर म्हणून ट्रीट करणार. आणि तुम्ही जर समजा ग्राउंडवर आलात, प्ले ग्राउंडवर, सो यू शुड बी ट्रीटेड ॲज अ प्लेयर. म्हणजे काय, तुम्ही पर्सन एकच आहात, पण सिच्युएशन नुसार तुमचे नावं वेगवेगळे होत आहेत. क्लासरूम मध्ये गेलात स्टुडंट, घरी आलात सन, दुकानात गेला कस्टमर, ग्राउंडवर गेलात तर काय होईल, प्लेयर. मीन्स पर्सन इज द सेम पर्सन, but according to situation his role is different. Okay, and that concept should be called as a polymorphism. So I'm going to simply write the definition of polymorphism. So see here, the word polymorphism, the word polymorphism the word polymorphism means, the word polymorphism means having many forms, having many forms. नेक्स्ट लाईन मध्ये लिहितोय, इन सिंपल वर्ड इट कॅन बी डिफाइंड ॲज, it can be defined as it can be defined as the ability of a message, it can be defined as the ability of a message to be displayed, in more than one form, in more than one form. Okay, now एक सिंपल एक्झाम्पल जर समजा याचं घ्यायचं असेल, एक्झाम्पल टाईप करू का इथं, एक सिंपल एक्झाम्पल घ्या, एक तुमचंच एक्झाम्पल घ्या. एक्झाम्पल मी काही लिहित नाही, मी एक तुमचं एक्झाम्पल, त्याच्यासाठी मी काय करतो, एक डायग्रामच काढून देतो, म्हणजे तुम्हाला इझी जाईल. एक पर्टिक्युलर पर्सन घ्या. ओके, आय विल कन्सिडर इट इज अ पर्सन. इफ दॅट पर्सन should be in a classroom, I'm going to write here, if that person in a class, so that person should be treated as a student. Okay, if that person, if that person is at home at that time, that person should be treated as a either son or daughter, either son that person should be treated as a either son or daughter. Okay, if that person should be in a shop, that person should be treated as a customer. And if that person should be present at playground, at that time that person should be treated as a player. So see here, पॉलीमॉर्फिझमचा जो कन्सेप्ट आहे एकदम सिंपल आहे. पर्सन एकच आहे, बरोबर आहे, बट अकॉर्डिंग टू सिच्युएशन दॅट person will call by the different name. If that person should be in a class, at that time that person will called as a student. If that person is present in a shop, that person should be called as a customer. If that person should be at home, that person will become either son or daughter. And if that person should be present in a playground, so that person should be called as a player. Means तुमचा ऑब्जेक्ट एक आहे, but according to the situation his role is different, so that concept should be called as a polymorphism. So the definition will be said as it is nothing but the ability of a message to be displayed in more than one form according to the situation. Okay, so in a C++, so in a C++, in C++, there are basically two types of polymorphism. There are basically two types of polymorphism. Two types of polymorphism. Okay. Now the first one is compile time polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism. Okay, and the second one is runtime polymorphism. Runtime polymorphism. Okay, now see here, now that compile time polymorphism is again divided into two types. Now that compile time polymorphism, is again divided into two types. The first one is function overloading. The first one is function overloading, and second one is operator overloading. Already we have seen function overloading and operator overloading in our last previous lectures. And runtime polymorphism is defined by operator function overriding. So see here, the polymorphism means a object which is going to take more than one forms according to the situation. That concept should be called as a polymorphism, and polymorphism is basically divided into two types. The first one is a compile type polymorphism, and second one is a runtime polymorphism. Okay, so compile time polymorphism already we have seen, because the compile time polymorphism has two types, that is the function overloading and operator overloading. So already we have seen that function overloading and operator overloading, and now the runtime polymorphism has only one type, that is called as a function overriding. Okay, so the compile time polymorphism should be called as a early binding also. Early binding. जर समजा तुम्हाला कोणी काय म्हणलं, व्हॉट इज द सेकंड नेम ऑफ कंपाइल टाइम पॉलीमॉर्फिझम, इट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड ॲज अ अर्ली बाइंडिंग, and the runtime polymorphism should be called as a late binding. Okay, so now we are going to see the example of function overriding. So see the example. What is the meaning of function overriding? When we have seen the example, it should be clear to you. Hash include iostream using namespace std. Okay, now here I am going to define one class and name of that class is a. Okay, and now in a public area, example is very simple. In a public area, I am going to define one function and name of that function is show, and within that show function I am going to write simple cout statement, and within that cout statement I am going to put one statement. Hi, I am a base class. I am a base class. Okay, मी काय केलं, सिम्पली एक क्लास डिफाईन केलाय आणि त्या क्लासमध्ये काय केलं, एक फंक्शन, एक शो नावाचं फंक्शन बनवलं आणि त्या शो नावाच्या फंक्शन मध्ये एक सिंपल मेसेज प्रिंट केलाय, हाय आय एम अ बेस क्लास and I am going to close that class A. Okay, now see here, I am going to again define another class, that is class B. I am going to define another class, that is class B, and that class B will inherit the property from class A. Okay, now within that class B, again in a public area, I am going to define same function, that is show, void show function. Okay, and within that show function I am going to simply write cout statement, hi, I am a derived class. I am a derived class. Okay, and simply I am going to put here end statement, and I am going to close this class. Now within main statement, okay, now I am going to create the pointer for a class A. So to create the pointer I am going to write here A, that is the name of the class, म्हणजे ज्या क्लासचा पॉइंटर क्रिएट करायचा आहे त्या क्लासचं नाव लिहा and write down any pointer variable. Okay, and now I am going to create the object for class B. So for class B, write down name of the class, that is B, and write down object name, that is obj. ओके, पॉइंटरचं काम काय, पॉइंटर काय करते, व्हेरिएबलचं ऍड्रेस स्टोअर करते. सो इफ आय एम गोइंग टू असाइन ptr इक्वल टू ऍड्रेस ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट, ओके, म्हणजे काय केलं, ए क्लास आहे, ए क्लासचा मी पॉइंटर क्रिएट केला, बरोबर आहे, आणि बी क्लासचा ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट केला. नाव ज्या बी क्लासचा जो ऑब्जेक्ट आहे त्याचा ऍड्रेस मी कुठं स्टोअर करत आहे, या पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल मध्ये, मीन्स पॉइंटर इक्वल टू ऍड्रेस ऑफ ओबीजे. ओके, आणि जर समजा मी शो फंक्शन यूज केलाय आणि पॉइंटर, by using the pointer, if we have to apply the show function at that time, what happens, tell me. Tell me what is the output of this program. ए क्लास आहे, ए क्लासचा मी काय केला, पॉइंटर या ठिकाणी क्रिएट केला, बरोबर आहे, बी क्लासचा ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट केला, आणि या ए क्लासच्या पॉइंटर मध्ये जो बी क्लासचा ऑब्जेक्ट आहे त्याचा ऍड्रेस स्टोअर केला, बरोबर आहे. त्याच्यानंतर विथ द हेल्प ऑफ दॅट पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल आय एम गोइंग टू कॉल द शो फंक्शन. So what is the output of that show function? So it will print either this line, hi I am a base class, or it will print this line, hi I am a derived class. नीट बघा, पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल आहे, पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल मध्ये बी क्लासच्या ऑब्जेक्टचा ॲड्रेस स्टोअर केलाय, अँड विथ दी हेल्प ऑफ दॅट पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल वी आर गोइंग टू कॉल शो फंक्शन. शो फंक्शन इथं पण आहे आणि शो फंक्शन इथं पण आहे. सो विच मॅसेज इज गोइंग टू बी प्रिंट? Which message?
Class B.
Huh?
Hi, I am a derived class.
Okay. Now if I run this program, so our output is hi I am a base class. So what it happens, ठीक आहे, तुम्ही जरी डिराइव्ह क्लासच्या ऑब्जेक्टचा ॲड्रेस जरी तुम्ही सेव्ह केलाय, बट ज्या वेळेस तुम्ही पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबलने एखादा फंक्शन कॉल करताय, तुम्ही एखाद्या पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबलने एखादा फंक्शन कॉल करताय, तर तो जो पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल आहे, तो पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल ज्या क्लासला पॉइंट करतोय, हा पॉइंट जो म्हणजे हा जो पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल आहे ज्या क्लासला पॉइंट करतोय, कुठल्या क्लासला पॉइंट करतोय? ए क्लासला. सो इट विल प्रिंट द मेसेज ऑफ क्लास ए. एखादा पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल विथ दी हेल्प मीन्स बाय युझिंग पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल, इफ यू आर गोइंग टू call a function with the help of pointer variable, if you are going to call a function, that pointer variable will call a function of a class which is belonging to that pointer. म्हणजे हा पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल ज्या क्लासला बिलॉंग करतोय त्या क्लासच्या फंक्शनला हा कॉल करणार, बरोबर आहे. बट आपण काय केलं, या ऑब्जेक्टचा जो ॲड्रेस आहे म्हणजे क्लास बीचा जो ऑब्जेक्ट आहे त्याचा ॲड्रेस कुठं स्टोअर केलाय? पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबलमध्ये. मीन्स एक्सपेक्टेड आउटपुट काय की इट विल एक्झिक्यूट धिस लाईन. ओके, सो to execute this line we have to override the function, and we have to override the function by making the class as a virtual, by making the class as a virtual. Okay, sorry, by making the particular function as a virtual. So now see, if I run this program, what will be the output? Hi I am a derived class. So that concept should be called as a overriding. ओव्हररायडिंग मध्ये काय होतंय की एक बेस क्लास आहे, एक डिराइव्ड क्लास आहे, बरोबर आहे. बेस क्लास साठी आपण काय केलं? पॉइंटर डिफाइन केलं, आणि डिराइव्ड क्लास साठी ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट केला. जो डिराइव्ड क्लासच्या ऑब्जेक्टचा जो ॲड्रेस आहे तो आपण पॉइंटर मध्ये स्टोअर केला, आणि त्याच्यानंतर विथ दी हेल्प ऑफ पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल वी आर गोइंग टू कॉल दी फंक्शन. ओके, ज्यावेळेस आपण पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबलने एखादा फंक्शन कॉल करतोय, तर तो पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल ज्या क्लासला बिलॉंग करतोय त्या क्लासचा फंक्शन तो एक्झिक्यूट करणार. बट in a pointer variable we are going to store the address of a derived class. So at that time the expected output is it will call this class. Okay, so to call this to call the function of class B, we have to make the class A function as a virtual, and that concept should be called as a function overriding. Okay, so function overriding मध्ये काय, नेम ऑफ द फंक्शन विल बी सेम. ओके, बट दॅट फंक्शन शुड बी डिफाइंड इन अ डिफरंट क्लासेस. फंक्शन ओव्हरलोडिंग मध्ये काय होतं, एकाच क्लासमध्ये आपण काय करू, नंबर ऑफ फंक्शन्स विथ द सेम नेम आपण कॉल करत होतोय. फंक्शन ओव्हरलोडिंगचं कन्सेप्ट आठवा, नंबर ऑफ पॅरामीटर्स तुमचे वेगळे राहत होते, बट दॅट फंक्शन शुड बी कॉल विद इन अ सेम क्लास. बट या ठिकाणी काय, फंक्शन ओव्हररायडिंग मध्ये द नेम ऑफ द फंक्शन विल बी सेम. ओके, नंबर ऑफ पॅरामीटर्स विल बी सेम, बट दॅट फंक्शन शुड बी कॉल्ड इन अ डिफरंट क्लासेस. ओके, त्याच्यानंतर सेकंड जर समजा दोघांमधला डिफरन्स जर समजा बघायचा असेल, तर तुमचं जो फंक्शन ओव्हरलोडिंग आहे तो तुमचं बेस क्लास ॲज वेल ॲज डिराइव्ड क्लासमध्ये पण एक्झिक्यूट होत होतं. मीन्स यू कॅन डिफाईन एनी फंक्शन विथ द सेम नेम विथ डिफरंट पॅरामीटर्स in a base class and in a derived class also, but the function overriding can be done only in derived class, because see here, या ठिकाणी काय केलं, डिराइव्ड क्लासचा ऑब्जेक्टचा जो ॲड्रेस आहे तो या पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबलमध्ये स्टोअर केला आहे. अँड बाय मेकिंग द फंक्शन ऑफ बेस क्लास ॲज अ व्हर्च्युअल, we are going to call the function of derived class. So that is called as a function overriding. Okay. So this is the simple concept of function overriding. Now I am going to copy. समजायला थोडं अवघड आहे, पण तुम्ही एकदा नीट वाचलं तर तुम्हाला कळून जाईल. So unit number 7 will be finished. So we will start unit number 8 in the next lecture. So before that some homework to you. Before that I am giving some homework to all of you. Don't leave the session.